Hey everyone, so today we are going to be learning about pointers. I'm going to be using an old PowerPoint from a different video that I've previously made, but this is going to be like a little introduction and visual video, so no coding in this. So we're going to get started by defining a pointer. So a pointer is a variable that holds a memory address of another variable, and we represent it with the asterisk symbol, and I'll show you this a little bit more in a bit. But you can think about it with like this pink bubble having my variable, and that holds a memory address of another variable. So normally we have like my variable holds an integer value or a double value. Well, these pointer variables hold memory addresses of other variables. So this is how you declare a pointer. Go ahead and screenshot this, pause the video, read these boxes, but you just basically say data type asterisk variable name. And when you say data type asterisk, this says create a pointer of this data type. And then the variable name is just what we're going to call it. Okay, and now a little bit on reference. It's really important to understand references in order to understand pointers in C++. So like I said, go ahead and screenshot this, but here is a little snippet from my other video.
Okay, so some other important vocab to note is reference. So what a reference variable is an alias or an alternate name to an existing variable. And we use the ampersand symbol to denote when we are using a referenced variable. So we declare it kind of similar to the pointer. So we have data type, the ampersand symbol, which can also be placed anywhere in between, your new variable name, and the existing variable that it is referring to. If you want, you can pause this and read these.
Okay, so a few more important things is that pointer variables have their own memory address, so they take up their own space in memory, and I'll show you this visually. And then dereferencing means get the contents or the value at a memory location. So remember, our pointer variables are going to hold a memory address of another variable. So if you want to get the contents of that other variable, you have to dereference, and like I said, I'll show you visually. But dereferencing means get the value at that memory location. Okay, so now we're going to get into the drawing portion. Okay, so here I have a nice little setup. I just have, again, the pointer definition up top and how to declare it. So if I have int x equals 10 on the right, and I have int asterisk pointer. So this is an integer pointer called PTR, but we're just going to call it pointer. And we're going to assign this the value of the memory address of x. And over on the right hand side, I have a bunch of cout statements that we are going to walk through at the very end. But now let's look at the memory section. So our first line, int x equals 10. That creates a space in memory for x and puts the value of 10 inside of that. So you can follow along with yellow underline. And now we skip to the second line. So int asterisk PTR equals ampersand x. That creates a new space in memory. Remember, the pointer variable has its own memory address, which is represented by this 0x83. And inside of that, it holds the memory address of another variable. So in our case, we declared it to have the memory address of x. So here you can see inside of our PTR box here in memory, we hold the memory address of x, which we can see right there to the left of it. So inside of PTR, we have 0x79. And remember, that is the memory address of x. But PTR has its own memory address, 0x83. Okay, so now if we walk through the cout statements, this first one's just going to print out the value of x, which is 10. And then this second cout statement is ampersand x, which we get the address of x, which will be this 0x79. Now gets the tricky part and the new stuff. So if you cout PTR, well, what this is going to do is just cout the value inside of PTR. So now if we look at this cout PTR line, we say we want to print out what's being held at PTR, which if you follow along with this pink circle, it's the memory address because we assigned PTR to be the ampersand of x. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about dereferencing on this last cout line. And so if we say asterisk PTR, what we're saying is go to PTR and whatever is being held at it, whatever that memory address is, we want to go to that new memory address. So for us, we go to PTR and we see that inside of PTR we get 0x79. So then we actually go to the 0x79, which is our x variable. And once we're at that x variable, we say, okay, go inside of this x variable and give me the value that's being stored there. So you can follow along with the blue arrows. And I know that sounds tricky, but I hope that this little diagram can help kind of explain things a bit further. So now if we wanted to print these out in the terminal screen, we would see that cout asterisk PTR actually gives us 10. When we dereference PTR, we're getting the contents that's being held at the memory address that we are pointing to. Practice makes perfect. You will get the hang of it eventually. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.